Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's morning in some of the places. So anyway, good morning, good afternoon. As Tamil said, my name is Tihut Asfaw. I am so excited to join this session today. And thank you, Tamil, again, for inviting me to share my journey of transitioning from a PhD to the Canadian Public Service. So that's the title of my talk today. So I also would like to shed light on some of the opportunities the public service offers for PhD graduates or PhD students. Just to give you a brief background about my journey, my journey of service began when I was still very young, encompassing over a decade of work before venturing to Canada as an international student to pursue my PhD in environmental studies at UBC's Institute for Resources, Environment and Sustainability. During this time, I worked in many different organizations, very diverse, including banks, international and local NGOs focusing on addressing rural and urban poverty and environmental degradation in Ethiopia. So this experience affirmed or confirmed to me that it is important to keep your connections and purpose in our actions, and both professionally and personally. So the reason why where I am at right now is because of those networks and connections and relationships that I have developed over the years. And that's one of the things, one of the messages to me, keeping those relationships in everything we do. So upon completing my PhD, I faced uncertainties about finding fulfillment in my postdoctoral work compared to my previous experiences. I am an avid supporter of social justice, gender-based analysis, equity, and stuff like that. So I was worried, like, will I have the opportunity to really make a difference in the work I do? So in my conversation with peers, with even some of my advisors in the university, those were the questions I was asking. And everybody, almost everyone I talked to, told me, like, don't even think about joining the public service. Like I was, what? Like, they were saying that it's very bureaucratic, you won't be able to grow and flourish in that environment, so you better forget that. Try finding something in the university, in the research environment, and where, you know, you will have more opportunities. So, but despite that, I was curious. Like, my curiosity actually helped me to get into the public service and see what it was all about. So I came with all that, you know, information, with fear, but also I was also saying, if anything, it will be an opportunity for me to really see for myself what I heard was actually true. So I joined the public service in 2008. And since then, I'm not exaggerating if I say I have been continuously learning. So to me, it was a learning environment, honestly. I began as a program consultant, collaborating with Indigenous organizations on health initiatives. I have emphasized the importance of supportive leadership and shared values in those areas: Indigenous leadership, the leadership in the public service, even every one of us, like that leadership aspect we bring into the workplace. Transitioning into policy analysis at Health Canada's First Nations and Inuit Health Branch in 2010, I had the opportunity to work major initiatives like the HIV/AIDS and sexually transmitted and bloodborne infections program, and developing a framework. We had a new liberal government at that time, so we were given actually to look into areas of programs that were not supported by the conservative government in the past. So again, this has given me another opportunity to do research, to provide advice based on evidence, not just prejudice or just our own biases, right? So it was a great opportunity for me. And then I subsequently moved into Indigenous Services Canada, and I had the opportunity to work on bigger policy documents like Memorandum to Cabinet, Treasury Board submissions that would contribute to departmental policy and financial goals. So I was progressively growing into an area where I could make a bigger contribution. So in 2018, I assumed leadership within Health Canada's Healthy Environment and Consumer Safety branch, where I was overseeing a team reviewing federal health impact assessments for major development projects, such as pipelines, gold mines, major development projects, major infrastructure development projects. My contribution was providing strategic guidance in project reviews, providing guidance on gender-based analysis, equity, developing guidance to proponents and consultants, and organizing and providing training to Health Canada employees who are mostly hardcore scientists. So it was a very interesting journey, again, working with hardcore scientists, bringing these different lenses into the work we have been doing. And recently, I had a very interesting experience. I joined Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada as, I had an assignment opportunity for 4 months, which was very different from the work I have been doing. But in a sense, I have this passion, which I have been bringing with me wherever I was going. So again, I was supporting as the senior management on gender-based analysis, equity, in immigration and case management branch. I have since returned to my substantive position at Health Canada, and what I have learned is, despite challenge which you will experience in a day-to-day basis in any working environment, the public service environment can provide opportunities that would allow us to grow as a person and contribute significantly in the work that the government does. So again, one of the things I would like to mention is you don't have to be moving permanently to another department. There are over 40 departments and agencies in the federal government, and you can always look for assignment opportunities, secondments, deployments, change, have a taste. Is this something I like to do? And then if you don't like it, you can always move back to your substantive positions, but also there are numerous opportunities based on your interest. So what are those things PhD holders, or the skills that PhD holders could bring to the public service? To me, I think the 3 most important ones, I mean, we may have a science background, social science, anything, law, any background, but the major ones I have seen being very helpful in public service is research, communication, and project management. Those are really key for any PhD holder to transition into a public service environment very easily. When we look at research and analytical skills, policy work is about identifying problems, proposing solutions, and mitigating any negative consequences of those solutions. And all of these tasks, of course, require research. Policymakers need to know the scope of the difficulties they face. They would like to understand how other jurisdictions or other regions or provinces have dealt with those difficulties, or even other countries, and what the effects of those interventions were. And they need to know who is affected by the problem, who will be affected by the proposed solution, and how the interests of those parties line up or against the government. So research, of course, will provide that information and analysis, which will transform the information into usable product. This is the first requirement, and it's a natural fit for PhD holders who spend years in training, learning how to conduct research and then determine what it means. Communication skills, you all know it, but I just want to mention decision makers are busy people. They have limited time, they have limited attention. So like you would have to provide a very dense information, complex information, and a very usable form. It could be like in the elevator, like it could be elevator pitch, right? You may have 2 minutes to brief assistant deputy minister or even a minister. You may have that opportunity. Then you don't have a lot of time. So that communication skill is very critical for you to convey the information in a succinct manner, in a way that they can understand and they can apply it. So getting the right amount of information across in a clear and accessible way is of paramount importance. And PhD holders definitely have these skills, as you have been doing a lot of presentations and stuff like that. So I don't want to go in detail in that. Project management, let's talk about that, which many PhD holders don't think about it. But even a PhD dissertation, a PhD paper that we write, all of that is a project. Like, think about it, how you manage your time, how you have your deliverables, you have all the tools you use to make sure you deliver all of those things in time. Like, your professor will give you a limited time. So that is the expertise you'll be bringing. So I just wanted to mention that anyone who can finish their degree under like strenuous environment, as in universities, bigger universities like that, will be well equipped to manage any stress in the civil service, where you can see will be relatively micromanaged compared to university environment, where your professor will give you this long time and you use that time to deliver something. So the other thing I want to mention is, like, there are so many appealing perks that you can see in the public service. For example, the public service offers employment opportunities to match your passion, as I have said. If you are like me and you are interested in social justice issues or international development, the public service is a great place. If you are a science student, biology, marine science, etc., whatever your passion or interest, the public service may have what you are looking for. The other thing I have seen is you can make a big difference in the work you do. You can make actually people think differently. That's what I have been doing, like working with scientists, giving them the tools and the information and the knowledge to think differently, to think about vulnerable populations, to think about equity and diversity. Those are the opportunities that have been given, and I'm sure it exists in many places. Diversity, of course, is key in the public service. It's one of the core values. You will see respect, dignity, fairness, inclusion. Those are the key core values you'll be seeing. And the other thing I want to say is your ideas are always needed. Fresh perspectives are required. Even me, after working for such a long time in the public service, I get excited when the students come and join us. They bring different perspectives that we don't even think about, like different way of doing things. So you are needed. Your skills, your knowledge is much needed. The other thing about the public service I like is location. Like, wherever you are in Canada, you can be in the East Coast, West Coast, anywhere, like in Ottawa, wherever you are, you can work. There are regions which are under the federal government, so you can work anywhere. And there are opportunities to advance your career by tapping networks. There are so many on-the-job trainings, mentorship programs, job mobility, a lot of career development tools. Like, it's a continuous learning opportunity. The salaries and the benefits, of course, are very appealing. There are insurance, dental care, vacation allowances that you would be very happy about. The last one I really like about is the work-life balance. The public service offers flexible work arrangements, volunteer days, family-related leave, and options such as leave with income averaging and self-funded leave. So, you'll see, you'll be amazed. I'm not trying to sell the public service to you. I'm not getting anything for this, honestly, but this is what I have seen over the years. So what do you need to do to transition successfully into the public service? One of the things, as I have tried to say so far, is you must leverage your strength, embrace new challenges, and articulate your values to your potential employers. And they would love to hear that. Don't try to minimize what you have. Don't try to undersell yourself. Just tell them what you can offer. One of the questions they usually ask you is, why should I hire you? What do you have to offer? Why would I take you instead of the other person, right? So you really need to hone your answer to these questions. And also the other thing I would recommend is for you to explore programs like the Federal Student Work Experience Program, the post-secondary co-op or internship program, which offer a glimpse into the diverse opportunities available within the public service. So I'm going to stop here so that I can give you opportunities to ask questions. Thank you for your attention. And thank you again.